Welcome, Three Guys, Many Games. Got a big episode for you this week. We're going to have Lee Corrigan from Corrigan Sports, who sets up a lot of the neutral site games on. We're going to bring the other guys in. We're going to talk about all of our picks, where we are, where we're at, standings, the rankings, and also, obviously, the big game, why we're having Corrigan on this weekend at my old stomping grounds at LIU. Duke is playing Cornell. Many friends on both sides. Duke's coming down for their second Long Island game. A lot of Long Island flavor on Duke. Obviously, the Cornell has a lot of Long Island connections as well. Great show. Join us. It's going to be a fantastic time. Okay, we're back. Three Guys, Many Games. We have Lee Corrigan, Corrigan Sports, joining us again. How about that? Let's get a hand for Lee Corrigan.
All right.
Love
Fantastic.
Thanks for coming on, Lee. I know, it's been an interesting lacrosse season so far.
Sure
As
has.
we spoke last year, you've pulled off a number of events so far, and we have what we call close. It's really close to my heart because I'm wearing my colors, my old school colors from Post.
Yeah, you are. Look at that.
A former Post pioneer, so I'm very familiar with that field. Although it's changed from the days when I was playing on it, the atmosphere always, when I was in school, it was a tremendous place to play, and obviously with the upgrades and the excitement, it really becomes a great place to play with the with the expanded stadium and just obviously the teams you're bringing in. It's a really exciting moment for Long Island.
No, you're right about that venue. It is awesome. It's a great place to watch a game. A lot like Johns Hopkins, right? Because there is no track around the field, and if you're in the front row in the stands, baby, you could ball up your paper cup and hit a player with it. So, I mean,
Right.
you're right there, which is really, really nice. And so you're right. It's an awesome venue. As you know, 2 years ago, we had Cornell Notre Dame there, and it was off the hook. 8,500 people. There wasn't a seat to be had. People were all around the field. You know, we put on a good old party. I know you boys are great Americans, and we are long on America too. So you're going to see a lot of USA flags and USA 250 celebration.
Nice.
You know, so we celebrate that, and that's all part of what we're trying to do here with our College Lacrosse Live series. And this year we think we got a nice game. We're a little disappointed, obviously. Duke got bumped off last week, which we would love to see them, but it's still 7, Cornell 7, Duke's 12, and both of them are brawling right now to stay in the hunt, right?
Yeah.
So they're going to be laying it on the line, which is great. And, we expect a good crowd. Weather's great. You guys did a great job with the weather. I don't know how you do it. Vinny's got a direct line in there, which we appreciate. And so, looking at sunny and 60. So pretty excited about that.
So just give us a little bit of this season for Corrigan. How many games did you end up doing so far this year?
Yeah, so this is our third game. We went back to Houston. We took old Jerry Byrne and the Harvard Crimson down there to play Michigan. Interesting story is there's an extremely successful Harvard grad down there who was a football player, and he wanted to desperately get Harvard down there. So he gave us a nice little kiss, and we were able to help, pay for some flights and things for not just Harvard, but Michigan. And Harvard took care of Michigan that day, 17-7. It was a really good game. The place was sold out. It was about 2,500 people at a local high school down there, which is an awesome venue. So we had that game, which was great. Jerry was great, and obviously he's thrilled they won. And then we had Jerry 2 weeks ago here in Maryland versus the number one team of the country, Carolina. And Carolina, look out. Fasten your seatbelts, man. Holy cow. They're really good.
I'm sporting the gear since they went back up to number one. I'm sporting the gear, Lee. I got my
You are
Heels
right on
hat. I
time,
got my
Vinny.
Carolina zip up.
God, I know. I love them, and I love Coach Bresci and Coach Petramala. Great dudes, and Owen Duffy he's a handful, and Dominic can just shoot it like nobody's business. And then the secret about them right now is that they got 8 other dudes that can really play. Bad news. Somebody else is going to get 3 on you too.
And they're young.
And they're young. And, I saw Dominic giving an interview after their last game. And he sounded just like Dad, of course, saying all that great coach stuff about how it's a team thing. And I think that's the difference this year. I think they bought into the hey, man, we don't care who scores. It's all about our whole team, and it's about everybody doing damage, just not me. And, he did a great job articulating that. And I think Carolina's well-deserved number 1. We'll see. I think they got Cousin Kev this weekend, which should be a barn burner, right? Notre Dame versus Carolina.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to our game. So this is the 3rd game of our little College Lacrosse live series. And, we're looking forward to it. Long Island always shows up big.
I really feel like this can be your crown jewel, especially at post. I feel like,
God, yeah.
It does that vibe of that Notre Dame game 2 years ago, the Notre Dame Cornell game. It turned out to be such a great game, which is obviously we hope this game. But just from minute 1, I'll tell you, going back to post a little bit, that when I used to go to post and arrive at campus after the summer, every Friday night, there were major parties, just students would just set up in that gold parking lot right where those tailgates took place. And it would look like a tailgate on a Friday night in September, and people would just be hanging out. And the public safety people were not that happy, but it really is a perfect setup for tailgates and that. And then you talk about walking into this now new updated great stadium, watching 2 monster teams. So Long Island, let's get your tickets. Let's get out there, because this kind of game doesn't come along all the time. We hope we could get it once a year at least, to have this level.
How can they buy tickets, Lee? Can they go online still?
Yeah, go online at College Lacrosse Live and get their tickets now. We've already sold about 3,000 tickets, which is great, because we all know that this is kind of a last minute and walk up thing. And so
it is a walk up. Yep.
We're going to have a really nice crowd. One of the things we also have, and hopefully you guys can join us, is we have this VIP section where they actually let us have beer, and we sell beer to the general public as well, which is awesome, right? And then great. Donatina Pizza is our caterer and our VIP. And then as a part of it, your seats are literally on the sideline. So you're
Smalls, did you get seats, Smalls?
Well, I was actually interested. More important than the seats, I was interested in the food.
Brother.
I became a foodie in the last 10 years. I got fat. I got to support this girth, like you say, Stephen.
That's right.
So what kind of food do they have? They had pizza. They got hot dog. What do they got?
Oh, they're going to have all kinds of Italian dishes, pizza and chicken parm and all kinds of great stuff. Yeah, they're cooking it right there too. They have a truck that they pull up, and so they're going to be preparing it right there on site. So it's not chafing dishes or anything. It's prepared right there. We got a nice tent, the whole bit, right there in that green space. I mean, Stephen, not only is the field right there, but then they had this great little mini grass area where we got our merchandise tent going. We got some food vendors. We got the VIP tent. My son just reminded me, the last time we were there, the dads, the fun dads, they threw over 2 mini goals, and the kids had a little mini lacrosse field going. And there was people watching them all around. At halftime, they must have had 500 people, because all the people came to get a beer, of course. And then they saw the little guy game, and they all hung out watching the little guy game.
Did they ever tell you actually what the capacity is now of the upgraded stadium? What it actually?
Well, they say it's 8,000.
Okay.
And all I know is when we had that Notre Dame thing, there was more than 8,000 people in there, and they almost called the fire marshal, which is what we always seek for. We always hope for a Corrigan.
Yeah, right. That's good.
That weather for that game was outstanding too. So I hope.
What time does it start? 2:00 or 1:00?
It's a 2:00 game, 2 o'clock game, so plenty of time to get there. And I know there's some high school games going on, in the morning, midday. So hopefully those teams finish up quick and hop over. And you got a great lineup of guys. You got Fennell from Garden City. He's playing for Duke, right? And then you got the Cascading boys from Garden City. For Cornell, you got a lot of representation from Long Island on both these teams. And like I said, these two teams are very good teams, but they're also brawling for their position in the NCAA tournament right now.
Right. I mean, that's gonna be it's gonna be a critical game. I think it's probably even more critical for Duke right now after losing 2 in a row. They're not gonna want to drop 3 in a row.
Yeah.
Out of conference doesn't hurt them as much because they'll still be able to do some stuff. But it is. It is a key game at a key point in the season, so that's a great stroke of luck.
It'll be an overtime game. It could be so tight.
Yeah, right.
I say an overtime game. That's how tight it's going to be. It's going to be a tight game. They both got to win.
That's right.
They're both desperate. Come on.
I'm pulling for a one-goal game. That's what I pull for.
I would say a suggestion that thinking back from 2 years ago, you might want to send people out through that crowd, through the massive tailgates and tell them start getting into the stadium at, 30 or whatever. Because there was definitely a run on the people lose sight of everything. They're having such a good time. They're seeing people probably they haven't seen in a while, and it's like they sort of lose track of, the game is actually going to start getting going. So let's get in there.
And you're right. I mean, we had a massive line for the Cornell Notre Dame game a couple years ago, and I went out there and I had snagged a bunch of Long Island Post players to help us at the main gate. And they were checking people in, and we were busting ass because I can't stand it when I go to a game and there's a long line and the ushers don't care, and next thing you know, you miss the whole first quarter. No, not at a Corrigan event, man. That ain't happening. So you're right, though. That needs to be done because it's Old Home Week. We know that when we go to these games, right? You run into the buddy, and next thing you know, you're 3 beers deep and 2 hot dogs deep, and you forgot to go into the game.
You know what it's like? You know what it's like pulling Smalley away from a tomahawk steak?
Which to take your team.
Try taking him away from a tomahawk steak. It's not easy. I fear even being down on the field, we might not be able to get him out of the tent, Vin.
Go up and let him down, guys. Come on.
Coming out of his ears.
You got to take it when
He's
you
making up
right?
for lost time.
Yeah.
I don't blame him. Well, you guys are our guests, so man, if you want to come, you just let me know, and we got you. We appreciate everything you're doing for us, and I know you guys are a great sounding board for the Long Island lacrosse community. So we love it. We love you guys.
Let me ask you this, Lee, because this kind of goes back a lot of things from the beginning of the year, and kind of goes in the wheelhouse of your business. Obviously, at the beginning of the year, there was a lot of talk of how early the season was starting, and just complaints of whether going indoor, what kind of field are they on? It's early in the year. Every game is important, and the talk of some of these destination neutral site games becoming more of a thing, especially early in the season, was something. Have you been in discussions about maybe expanding on what you're doing?
Yes, in fact, we're flirting with Dallas, and bringing a doubleheader down to Dallas next year. Dallas Tourism is talking to us, and they want to attract the event. Obviously, Texas and Dallas is a burgeoning lacrosse market, so they're excited. And then we got a call from your friend Coach Danowski, who would like to play a couple neutral site games next year. We're talking about West Palm Beach.
Nice.
Potentially, nice. Yeah, man. So that would be kind of neat as well. But yeah, I mean, this thing that we created, it's really kind of taken off. And I think with our presentation and our efforts, the college coaches are seeing it, and they all kind of want to play a neutral site game, right? They want to get to different places for different reasons. Like Jerry wanted to get to Houston to satisfy that real big donor that he's got down there, right? Mm-hmm. Create some relationships there. And then same thing with Coach Danowski. He wants to do the same thing. University of Pennsylvania wants to do something similar. And so all this stuff is coming together. And now we're getting phone calls. It used to be that we were constantly hunting it, right, with these guys. But now, and we've created a nice relationship. Coach Petramalo is we consider him a real friend of ours, and Coach Bresci as well. And those guys, they loved what we did, and they loved the environment, and they had a great day. They won 17-7, so right, pretty tough not to be happy with that. So yeah, I think you're right, Steven. We're going to keep rolling on this, and Long Island's always a hot spot for us. We always want to be there. We want to get someplace south when warm, especially to your point earlier about those stupid end of January, February games, which we all hate, right?
Yeah.
I'm a Gary Gate on that, by the way. You know what? Let's start March 1st. Let's make everybody play 2 games a week for the first 4 or 5 weeks. And then once you get into your conference schedule now, and maybe, just maybe with the NCAA, push that back just a little bit so we can play a little bit more in May. Maybe 1 week, spread it out just one more week. Nobody wants to go to watch a lacrosse game on February 7th and be in the stands, freezing.
Right. Smalls, you got any questions for Lee?
Yeah, I can't think too much, but I know you can't give us a full answer, Corrigan, but if you gave us a hunch, you saw enough lacrosse this year. Give me kind of your top 4 to 6 teams that are going to make the Final Four,
Okay.
and because it's
Yeah,
all over the place this year. I consider you the expert.
Okay.
Hey, these 2 clowns can't pick a game. I'm leading these guys.
No, you're not. You're tied with me now, but
Yeah, you're
Vinny's
tied.
way down.
Well,
Oh, now I'm tied.
Vinny's
All of a
pointing to
sudden,
Carolina
Corrigan's
already.
on and I'm tied.
There
now.
you go. You see where I'm heading.
All right. Well, here's who I got. North Carolina is number 1. They are playing really, really well. And also Josh Marcus, the goalie, dad, what a great guy. We know him. John, who had such a great career at Hopkins, now his boy's doing it, really kind of coming into his own. They're trouble. They're big trouble, right? So Carolina, I got in the Final Four. Then, of course, I got to go with the family. You don't go against the family.
Exactly.
Boys. You know that.
Exactly.
Crazy, you're right.
So I got Notre Dame in the Final Four.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Princeton. I think Princeton's there. And then my last slot is probably going to be, I'm a Maryland guy and I love Coach Tills. I don't know if he can pull it off. Virginia seems to be getting it back in the road, which is really interesting, right? Those guys, Cornell's got a shot of being there, I think.
Right, I could.
Yep.
Are you counting out Richmond? That's
There you go. And you know what? Last week they got bombed by Notre Dame, right? They jumped out on 8-0, but they kind of got their feet underneath them, and then it ended up, they got some cosmetics on the board, and it was 12-8, I think, was the final score.
Right.
But yeah, I don't think you can count them out too, because they're pretty damn solid too. But so I gave you 3 of the 4, and then I got probably 4 teams that might get there.
and you got Syracuse hanging around there. Maybe you can make a.
Well, Gary's my guy. So yeah.
I want to put you on the spot. I gave you 6 or 8.
Yeah. Yep.
Right there,
Gary's in hunt too, obviously. I'd love to see them do well. And, one of the things that the NCAA knows, Syracuse makes it, bump. 10 more thousand tickets.
That's true.
Right?
You know what's crazy about when it comes to the playoffs now? Years ago, if you really got to the good games, not that they're not great now, but you got to the Final Four was where it was the real deal. Now, the quarterfinals is treacherous, And you could point to a handful of first-round games that are just really, really unbelievable. So the field is expanded to really give you great games in the whole NCAA tournament. You're not really going to see too many games where, a very handful of games where you kind of maybe possibly know the outcome.
No, you're right. Back in the, the 80s and the 90s, you knew that Maryland, Virginia, or Carolina, or Hopkins was playing,
right?
Somebody, Towson, and we knew it was going to be 15-3.
Exactly.
Right? That ain't the story anymore. Yeah, who wants to play Towson, by the way?
Right?
Yeah. Right?
Dangerous team.
Yeah, right. And so you're right. There's a lot of people, that can bump off people. And it seems like every year, whoever wins, the NCAA tournament, they have a close call along the way with somebody, right? And every single year that seems to happen. So you're right. Nobody's out of the woods. Nobody's out of the woods.
I think Vinny likes Penn State.
I like Penn State too, but they're up and down.
Yeah. Yeah,
They would
Penn
have won
State
last.
could be they could be a sleeper. I mean, they've won some amazing games and easily, and then they lose to teams you wouldn't think they would lose to. So, but
Yeah.
I think they get it together. I think they have that kid Aquino, I think his name is. He's been out. I think if they can get him back, I don't know what his status is, but that would be a big help. They're dangerous, like you said, Steven. Who wants to see if they end up with a low seed Penn State? Who wants to see them in a first or second round game?
Yeah.
You
Yikes.
you could have like a Carolina Penn State first round game.
You could. You could.
You
With
know,
the
or
way
you could
things are
have,
going right now.
depending on how it shakes out, you really could.
And somebody in the Ivy League or the ACC is gonna get left out because of all those automatic bids. And I
Right.
think, those automatic bids, and then, Virginia and Duke are both really good. One of those teams probably ain't gonna make it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Then you look at the Big Ten. Same thing with the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Like, I hope my Terps are getting it back in the road here, but
Maryland's gonna have to win win that
the tournament,
the tournament. I believe that. That's probably
right?
gonna. I think they're gonna have to put the gust in that. Same thing with Duke. If Duke loses tomorrow, that really hurts them.
That really hurts them because they don't have any really good non-conference wins at all, and right, they've been,
They're coming
taking
down
the
to
lump.
must wins now. Yeah.
Well,
It's
we figured it.
it's
We figured
interesting.
that. We figured that the three major conferences, Ivy, Big Ten, and ACC, are going to get 10 of the teams in. They will be 10 of the teams in the tournament. How that breakdown goes, 4-3-3, something
Mhm.
like that. I could easily see it being 4-3-3. But
Yeah,
maybe the ACC getting four and the Ivy getting, I think Cornell, Harvard, and Princeton. I think Yale could be a sleeper in that. They beat Cornell at Cornell. So they
yeah,
could be and in the Big Ten, I see three there. I don't know who the odd man out is there. I think maybe Rutgers and Ohio State could be the odd man
yeah,
out. And I think that Penn State, Maryland. Yeah, and I think Michigan is out too.
yeah.
They
Michigan's out, I think, but
those kind of
Hopkins
teams.
is still in the hunt.
Yeah, Hopkins, yeah. So the fact that 10 teams from three leagues, I think that's pretty strong, and it shows the strength of those
It
conferences.
is. It is, but I think there's going to be a couple teams. Well, let's get back to the NCAA tournament, right? Just in general, I would so we all know like 3 years ago, Kev won 10 games in a row at Notre Dame and didn't get in, and was ranked
Right,
fourth in the country.
You're right.
that was crazy.
So
That
and we
pissed
all
them off.
know. And Army, think about Army in the last 5 years. Good Lord, how many great years have they had?
Yeah.
Then they get bumped off in their tournament. They're out. And
Right.
those are teams that could literally make the championship game, the Final Four, right?
Yeah.
And so I hate to see that. I'd like to see it even expand one more little section and maybe go to, now it's at 18 teams, maybe get to 24 teams or something.
Right.
Then that Notre Dame team always gets in. Those
Right.
really
Right.
good Army teams always get in.
Right.
And then there's no. But I know that.
You want to know the more progressive, sort of outside the box idea like Vinny has. Vinny's a believer. Listen to this one. Vinny's a believer on that topic where maybe make the conference champ just in terms of the regular season when they play. Don't play a conference tournament. Save those games during the year for maybe some really good interconference
Yeah.
games, and then judge it at that point. Give the automatic qualifier to the guy who just wins the regular season. Why do you need to keep repeating, playing the same teams over and over again?
I agree with you,
Knock
Vinny.
yourself off, That
Yeah.
might be a better way.
Yeah, just replace that tournament with one or two really good non-conference games, right?
Exactly. And then
Right.
it gives the fans all of these sort of interesting games. It gives you a real balance of seeing what conference actually excels against another conference, really.
Yeah, that's true too, right? Then you can really compare the strength of conferences.
Right.
And you're right. If I'm the coach in one of those big conferences, and then we got to play that barn burner schedule anyway, and then I got to play tournament against the same guys.
Right.
Shit. And then I'm probably going to
Yeah.
see him in the NCAA tournament.
Exactly.
And then see him again. Yeah. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
what we,
It,
yeah.
I wouldn't be wild
Wow.
about that if I was a head coach. That's for sure.
Well,
So
Lee, I want to say, I know the Corrigan family's a big sports family, and not only lacrosse, but basketball and everything else. But we really appreciate what you're doing to expand the game, because what you're doing is expanding the game, gives people an opportunity to see live, the highest level of lacrosse in different places, like you said, going to Texas. And we've had somebody else on, they run a game in Atlanta. And you guys like you who do that, I know the kind of work behind the scenes it takes, getting sponsorship and getting venues and having employees the day of the game, and manning the whole situation. You do a phenomenal job, and I want you to know we really thank you and appreciate you for growing the game.
You got it, brother, and we appreciate your efforts. And yeah, man, you hit your nail on the head there. I mean, we got 11 of our CSE team members are getting in them trucks. I'm driving a truck, by the way, from Maryland
Yeah.
up to Long Island tomorrow. And you're right, we're the guys that set up the field, all those tents that you see, all that stuff. That's us, and that's we kind of gang tackle all of our events like that. And so we'll be there loud and proud and working hard, and you know our deal. We want it to be overtime game. We want everybody to leave happy and good weather.
Anything
Right.
you need, any help you need, don't be shy to ask. Smalley used to drive a truck for Mike Thurl. He's
Yeah.
good at moving things around. He's good at
I got
hey,
trucks
setups.
Mike
here
He's
too.
Thurl, I love it.
he
I
knows how
got
to put up
everything.
tents. You will have to feed him. There might be a net loss if you're going to have to feed him, but in the long run, he'll help
Bring a
you.
lot. Bring a
He
lot of napkins.
There you go. Well, I got to take the gang out for when you're in Long Island. You got to go to a great Italian restaurant. So that's our plan up front.
anytime you want, anytime we'll go to Vincent's. We'll hook you
We
up with
got
your whole
Vincent's over
crew.
there.
I love it, man. That's
Bobby
that's
Marisi will take good care of you at Vincent's. That's the go-to lacrosse spot.
I know. I love that spot. Sat there last year when we did the Syracuse Cornell game at the bar after the game,
Right,
and
right.
it was
Love it.
a great time.
Well, for lacrosse fans, remember, go out, get your tickets online, get them early. Don't be in a rush. At the game. Any lacrosse fan, high school players, other college players that might not be playing at the same time. This is an event that you're going to want to be around. This is an event that we look forward to once a year, along with the quarterfinals that we've been lucky enough to have at Hofstra the last couple of years. But that's the atmosphere you're going to get. You're going to get a quarterfinal atmosphere at Post on a tremendous April day. So don't wait till the last minute. Get there early. Enjoy the tailgates. Get inside. It's going to be a fantastic day. Lee, I appreciate you coming on, and we look forward to it. Trust me, we'll be in touch with you. We're ready to go.
I'm psyched for this, man. I love it.
Love
Smallest
it.
No,
mustache chicken.
Stephen, let me just add one thing, Stephen.
Go ahead.
For the fans, it's a 2 o'clock game. I would say you would be smart to get there by noon, because those tailgates, these both teams, Duke and Cornell, they really travel well. They got a great fan base. And if you're a real lacrosse fan like we are, you're going to see a lot of great alums, guys who are All Americans to Hall of Famers that played at these two schools that will definitely be there on Saturday. So don't be shy, for the
Even
kids
coming
if
at
you
11
want to
o'clock.
go. And
11 o'clock is also good.
yeah, and you want to meet people. Lacrosse world is like that. You don't have to be shy. You want to approach somebody, you want to talk to them, you want to ask them questions as a kid trying to learn.
You want to get a
That's
picture with
part of this
Smalley?
too.
You want to
If you
get a
want your
picture
Yeah.
kid
with
to get into
Smalley?
Chaminade, you
Oh,
come talk to Mr. Chaminade, myself. And
Yeah,
it was
you
to
go.
make something
Mr.
happen. You know,
Chaminade will be there taking applications.
Pictures, kissing babies.
Here's a couple of insider tips. Park near Post Hall. You go park near Post Hall. I lived in Post Hall. It's a little walk across the street. That's why I lived in Post Hall. You walk right across the street, right into the parking lot, to the tailgate, right into the game. It's a quick shot.
Yeah,
Don't try to get
yeah.
too close on the parking. Trust me. Park at Post Hall is a very short walk. The other thing, if you happen to, there's so much memories I have at Post. You know, we used to go out in the woods. I wonder if it's still there. It used to be what we called the Rock of Love.
Oh,
we don't want to know about that.
That was a site. That was a landmark. If you can still find it, I know all the Post guys out there. They know about the Rock of Love. The Rock of Love is out there. Trust me.
hey, Steven, is there still that statue of you in front of Post Hall?
Oh, I wish.
The drinker?
But what
The
a
only
great,
statue there is of Postel, Tom Postel. There's a statue of Postel. I think they carved him out of a tree. They carved the likeness of Postel out of a tree there, and it's still there.
I just got a text from Timmy Goldstein. He wants to take you guys out to dinner tonight, Vinny, Steven.
Okay.
Yeah,
Not tonight. Tonight?
yeah, tonight. They're in town
Wow.
now. They're getting
wow.
ready.
He's in
They're
town.
psyched.
Already here.
They
Oh,
come
wow.
2 days before. Yeah.
Well, his boy is a handful, right? Good
Oh, yeah.
Lord,
Yeah.
man. The
Yeah,
Candy
little
Man.
Goldie. He's a
The
little
Candy
Goldie.
Man.
We're
You're
really
right.
excited. We're really excited. And again, thanks, Lee. We appreciate it. We'll let you get back to work. Do you want to give out the website? Is there any particular the website that the people
Yeah,
can go on?
just go to
College
College Lacrosse Live,
Cross
and
Live.
you'll see it features all three of the games. You just hit the button that says "Do Cornell," and you'll go right into.
Great. I'll get that link up. You know, with a story. I'll get that link up on the Instagram so that people can, you know, from one of the stories I put up, that they can shoot over. But again, I suggest people out there, go get your tickets early. Get as much as you can now, because you know there'll be a massive walk up, I'm sure. I think it's going to be
Oh, it's going to be
massive
epic.
event.
It's going to be epic.
Yeah, buddy.
Three
Yeah,
guys,
buddy.
many games, man. Awesome.
Love
Good
it.
job.
For
All
sure.
right, thanks, Lee.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Lee.
Have a great day.
We'll see you Saturday.
All right, we're back. We got a big segment on our picks. We were happy to have Lee Corrigan on. That was a joy for the big game coming up. But Vin, you're really way down actually in these picks.
What? I thought I made up a little ground this week.
You made up a little ground, but I moved up to a tie with Smalley, but we're still behind the fans. The fans are actually in the lead.
The fans know what they're doing.
By the way, fun fact, the fans won college last year.
They did.
Yes, they won. They won the season last year, and this year, right now, they got a 3-game lead over me and Smalley, and they have a 6-game lead over you. So,
Oh,
you know,
boy.
we've been, you know.
I
we're
can
still-
make it up. I can make it up.
Make it
I'm
up.
good for.
There's
I'm good at coming from behind.
Why do I see 99%? Steven, you look like you're lagging behind Vinny.
I'm fine. Don't worry. You
Don't
know,
worry
talk
about it. Don't worry
Technology.
But
about
I
it.
don't
I
see
want
me
to
on
talk
the. All right.
technology in the
All
middle
right.
of talking about our picks. Worry about your picks. You're
All
falling
right, go ahead.
fast.
What do we got? Bring it up, kid.
All right. So, the first game, we go Ivy League at Princeton. Pennsylvania at Princeton. Princeton is 4.5 goal favorite.
Oh boy.
Whoa, you pencil.
Yeah,
Yeah, you Penn.
getting 4.5. He's eating ring dings, this guy. In the middle of picks, he's eating a
He
ring
hasn't
ding.
stopped eating since he came on.
What is it, a
Hey,
Yankee Doodle or a ring ding?
It's
how'd you get
it,
ring ding?
I can see a ring ding. I
it
would
all
think
it all
a ring ding.
it all went to hell. He had that burst of energy for about
Yeah.
3 weeks where he went to the gym and that's
Right.
it. He's good for the next 6 years.
Vinny,
Exactly.
some teammate you are, Vinny. You're giving the guy up at my worst.
I
At my
learned from
worst,
the best. Look, I got Carolina and I'm a front runner. I'm
Vin,
going right to the
have you,
top.
you are.
Carolina.
Vin, have you ever watched like Joe Rogan or a Charlie Rose interviews? Do you ever see them stuffing their face during the
He's
interview?
no, this is groundbreaking. They're going to start following him. You're going to
They
see it
are.
soon.
They are.
You're
They
going to
will.
see it soon.
New. It's new. It's going to be new and improved
Yeah.
out there. All right,
Yeah,
who do you
he's
got, Vin?
starting something new.
I
Pennsylvania
always
at
drink water
Princeton.
though.
I got to go
Who we
first.
got?
All right, let Smalley go first. If
The
you want
guy
to go
in the
first.
lead should go first.
Well,
Yeah,
I'll go first.
I
I'm
didn't
going
hear
to
the team.
take Penn getting the 4.5.
No, I'm going the opposite of Penn. I'm going with Princeton.
Penn's a funny team. Some weeks they look good, some weeks not so good. They
Totally.
got beat up pretty good last game, didn't they? Who beat them last game? Somebody took them to school. I thought they'd play. I think I lost that game with them last week. Princeton at home, 4.5. Wow. I think I'm going to go Penn. Come on, Penn. I want to see you
Okay.
do it. I want to see you hang around in that game. I'll go Penn.
Okay. And the next game is at Ohio State, Big Ten. Hopkins. Hopkins getting a goal and a half at Ohio State.
I'll take Hopkins.
I'm going with Hopkins also. I think I think they're getting their game together.
I think I'm going with Hopkins too. I think it also getting that goal and a half, even though it's on the road. I think Ohio State's right now trying to figure some things out. I think
Yeah,
they're
Ohio
strong.
State plays a lot. Ohio State plays overtime games. Unfortunately, I
Right,
think they lost two of them,
right.
so
I think it could end up that point that helps Hopkins, at least for us anyway. Not,
yeah,
that's why
Hopkins has some good wins. I mean, they
they
got the
really
win
do.
over Virginia. They got they got that overtime win. They're
Penn State.
really they let that game get away from them, that Rutgers game. If they would have won
Right,
that Rutgers game, they'd really be sitting good right now.
They just beat
right,
Penn State.
Yeah,
Just beat
no, I
Penn
know.
State.
That's what I'm
right.
saying.
All right, the next one is at Jacksonville. Utah traveling to Jacksonville, and Jacksonville's home getting a goal and a half.
Wow.
What do you
I'll
think?
go first this time.
Okay.
Uh I'll tell you, that Utah, I saw them play. They can score. Jacksonville at home, I think, gives them a big edge. They got to travel cross country there and all. But I think I'm going to go with the Utes. I'm going to go with Utes, Utah.
I'm going Jacksonville.
It was a goal and a half. I'll stick with Vinny's team.
Utah?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a very tough
Now
call.
we go back to the Ivy League. The Ivy League's always tricky.
Yeah.
This team, this is our man JP. Our man JP and Dartmouth travel to Brown. Brown is minus a goal and a half. I'm going to go
Wow.
Brown. I'm going Brown. What do you say, Vin?
Well, that right now is the bottom of the Ivy League, right? They're the two bottom feeders right now. Hate to call them that, but that's where they are. They've had some
You guys
good
said Brown
games.
was going to do good, pretty good this year, decent.
Yeah,
They've
it's
had some
at
good teams
where'd you say the game is, Steven?
at,
It's at
at
Brown,
Brown.
and Brown's a goal and a half favorite.
Yes.
All right, I'll take Brown in that game.
Take Brown.
I'm going to stick with my man JP. I think they're going to come up with a big win. His son is he going to be an All American this year, so I've got to go with the other
Two
team.
Browns and a Dartmouth. Dartmouth, I think, they've had some they've put some good games up. They just, they kind of fell apart. They had some leads on people, you
Yeah,
know. I don't
yeah.
think they're that far away, from being really competitive. It's just they got a great coaching staff. They got a great coaching staff. They're gonna make some noise. They get some recruits. In a few years, Dartmouth could be a force.
Well, we're gonna see, but
Go
we've
ahead.
seen it before with other teams through the years, Steven. Just close enough to keep losing.
Right.
You
Well,
just
it's
can't
like
get over the hump.
it feels like you either have to get over the hump or you regress,
Yeah,
It's like
that's
when you
true.
start to build that momentum, you either have to get over that top and really become something, or a lot of times it's like they just get there and then they drop back down
Because
again.
they do the same thing every time. They don't change the offense. It's the
Right.
same game.
So the next one
You
is
got to change everything up.
Big Ten. We got Penn State home
But
-6,
that's
-6 against Michigan. I'm going Michigan.
wow, -6.
I saw Josh Mulholland at the Chaminade game.
Dominant.
I'm going Michigan.
Yeah, we saw our friend Josh Mulholland, his son Aiden had a great career there. They won some Big Ten championships while Aiden was there. This year they're a little bit down, but what'd you say they're getting? 6?
6.
Wow. All right, well I'll go with the Wolverines on that one.
I don't know, man. They haven't been playing great this year. I mean, you start adding up the goals. It's only a goal.
They also have a Levittown connection, Michigan.
Who's that?
It's isn't Mudderwack's son playing in Michigan?
Yeah, got Goldberg on Michigan.
Jeff Goldberg's son.
Right.
Yeah, good call.
So,
Very good
you
call.
know,
Yeah, he's a Georgetown guy. Jeff Goldberg, Levittown. His son is
Cade,
Cade
Cade,
Goldberg.
Cade
you love
Goldberg,
Cade.
Cade
You
Cade.
love,
Goldberg.
we love our man Jeff Goldberg,
Yeah, I love
former
Cade.
lacrosse
Cade's a
club
great young
legend.
man. He's gonna get a big job when he's done. This kid really hung in there. Good for him. I'm gonna go with. I'm not gonna go with Michigan. I'm gonna go with opposite of Michigan. I just think they're too strong. I
All
think it's
right.
gonna be a
Back
lot
to
of
the
goals.
back to the Ivy League. Yale home +2 against Harvard.
Oh boy,
I'm
wow.
gonna go with Harvard. I want to take Harvard. That means Harvard's got to win by 3 goals or like right.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So really, if you think about it, it's 3 instead of 2. That's why
Well,
it's hard to
you
pick.
could get a push at
And that
two.
you could get a push.
You could get a two if they win
But
by
you see
two.
my
You know.
point, though. I mean, it's still
Yeah, yeah. No, I
to
understand.
win. You got to win by 3, or it's a push,
Right.
basically.
I'm gonna go Harvard also.
You two guys are going Harvard.
But you
Hmm.
can only catch up if you go opposite, Vinny.
I have to, but I also think the other team. I think Yale's
I
playing
don't know.
well.
There's a lot of meat. There's a lot of games left. Don't
Yale's
go
playing
against what
good
you think.
ball. Yale is playing decent.
I'm going with younger
Yale's
Connor
playing decent,
Gately's
Vinny.
doing a
Go with
good
Yale.
job. Another one of our Alley Pond guys, Connor Gately's playing attack
He's
and
got an
having
Alley Pond badge. Connor Gately's got an Alley
he's got
Pond
an
badge.
Alley Pond badge, and so I got to go with Connor. He's going to have a big game that day, and they're going to. I don't know that they'll win, but I think they're going to keep it close. They're going to
A
give
lot of
Jerry a scare.
Now that Vince brought up Alley Pond, do you see the Alley Pond progression in college? Connor Gately, Yale, all guys are filtered all over. They're wondering, they're saying, how come Smalley's not keeping Alley Pond going and developing all these young
Yeah.
Yeah.
guys and putting them on the map, showing them how to play?
Hey,
What's going
Vinny,
on there?
explain what Alley Pond was to the fans. We say Alley Pond. They don't know. What the fans, what did we do at Alley
All right,
Pond
go
on
ahead.
Long Island?
So Alley Pond Park is on the border of Nassau and Queens. It's right at the expressway and the Grand Central Parkway, and it's really a tennis place. But in the winters, they put a huge bubble over it. One of the biggest bubbles I've ever seen. It looks like it's about 200 yards long or more, and they put turf down at the end of the facility, about 80 yards long by about 35 yards wide, enough to play, run up and down and play full field. So the generosity of our good friend Chris Hine, who sponsored the event, he paid for it. It costs like maybe $750 for an hour and a half. And we would go to Alley Pond. We rented it for 12 sessions. We'd go from 6:30 in. So you had to know the kids had to be into it if they were going to wake up to come for 6:30. But we went 6:30 in the morning to 8 o'clock, and it was kind of like open gym kind of thing. And the word got around, and because of the location, we had Joe Fowler, a good friend who brought kids from the city to come play. We had guys coming from Westchester. We had guys coming from Nassau and Suffolk. But the word got around, and guys wanted to compete there because we kept it fun. It was, they got to play. There was some structure to it, but for the most part, Steven actually was playing more than coaching. Smalley was doing his thing on the sideline, and I was on the field reffing and coaching at the same time. I tried not to stop them very often, if at all, and just let them play because I know they wanted them to play. And we had enough guys on the sideline who could coach them up as they came off the field and what they saw. And we had numerous guys who became all Americans in college, Division I players. We had Mikey Leo there. We had the goalie from Enterman came down. We had the great defenseman from Duke, who was the captain last year. Why can't
Brower,
I think of his name? Brower came down. I mean, the list went
AJ
on and on.
Pilot, Army, AJ
AJ
Pilot,
Pilot from Army. We had numerous guys who ended up to
Charles Balsamo,
Charles and
Virginia,
Joey Terenzi.
Joey Terenzi.
It's just the guys who came through there. It made us feel so good that so many of them had such successful careers. Aiden Corello at Georgetown now.
Aiden Corello,
The list
Aiden
goes on.
Mulholland,
Connor Gately, who we just
Connor
mentioned, who
Gately.
may have won. So Mac O'Keefe would come down and play. My nephew Jake. These were guys who were already in the pro league. We went from like pro league guys to ninth graders,
And to
and we mixed,
Giza, and to Giza.
and some old timers too. Yeah, a few old guys jumped in there now and then. But what we did was we balanced it. If there were we put a ninth grader on a ninth grader. You know, we don't want to see a kid get killed. But the confidence boost it gave those kids, especially the younger ones, playing with these older guys and seeing like they kind of fit in and showing them how they could fit in if they weren't at a certain level, it paid a lot of dividends for them. So it started out, however many kids we had invited, and then the word got around. And next thing you know, it was almost like I had to say no to some people because, we only got the field for an hour and a half. How many guys can you get there and get a really good run? But I mean, I had as many as, 50, 60 kids calling me to come. And, first of all, and it was funny because, when the thing would end, I'd have parents walking up to me and with checks and cash in their hand. And how much does this cost? I said, no, this is free. They couldn't believe it was free on top of it, So they got good instruction. They got to play. They made friends on top of that too. A lot of these kids made friends with guys from other teams, and it just was. Smalls even came up. He did his part. He kept the sideline in order. He also made some apparel for the guys.
Yeah.
He made apparel. He gave out the pennies and stuff that we were using, and it was a great
It's
thing.
nice little time to get together. Like
Yeah,
you put high school kids in with the big kids. It was amazing
yeah,
how
we
you
had
did
them.
it.
We had that mix, but the only reason we stopped it wasn't because of lack of interest.
Pandemic. Yeah, the
COVID,
pandemic.
yeah, when the COVID came,
Pandemic.
they shut it down, the bubble for like 2 years, and then they weren't sure they were going to put the turf, and we never really found that place was perfect because where it was located and how they were able to come out from the city, come from Connecticut over the bridge, and come from
Right,
Long Island. We
right.
were getting guys coming from three different, different places, and it was really a lot of fun. I enjoyed doing it. I know you guys enjoyed being there. I know Steven enjoyed even playing too, running around. We may start it up again.
I always felt like I could even, just playing sometimes even help
Oh,
kids
yeah,
more than
yeah,
even just telling them something. You're on the field, you're doing it with them. I
yeah,
always felt like I can do some good instruction and coaching from within the game.
yeah, yeah,
It was a special thing. We should regenerate it in some form or fashion. I know people do a lot of things, but again, we're not looking to appeal to everyone. We want to appeal to the kids who want to get better, that really want to have expert instructions, get good run in, and learn how to play. Because I do think there's there are a lot of great players, but then are they what I call system players? Or
right,
are you a guy who can feel out a game in just motion sports and go into any game and be effective? That's something
yeah,
different. And I think that's maybe a little bit of a lost art. I think guys get so much into their pattern structure that the senses of Postel used to always say it. He used to say, well, you're always just gonna play to what's the defense giving you. So you
right.
got to be able to adjust as a player and adjust yourself based on what the defense is doing. That might
Well,
not
not
fit
only what the
right.
defense does, I think there's something to be said about learning how to play with anybody, just to
Right.
get on a field and play with anybody that you're playing with because you keep certain rules and stuff in your head that are basic. We would run basic things. I would have some rules now and then. I used to say before we got started to the guys on offense, we used to just say, if you got the ball and you pass it to somebody, you have to do one of three things: do a give and go set a pick for the guy you threw it to, or go set a pick away. And we told the
Exactly.
other guys, keep moving, rotate the position while that's going on away from you. And, the offense would get dominant at times because they were moving and they would say to us, wow, there's a great offense. I said, it's not an offense. It's just a rules based kind of what you're doing. And then the next week we'd come and we'd give the defense rules and we'd say, take away the guy's strong hand and the next guy over, Jason, just double. Let's see if they can make a play. And then all of a sudden they be throwing the ball all over the place, the offense. It got harder for them. So it was more or less to just let it keep being free flowing players, understanding that when they got to a college, the school you may go to may play different than what you played in high school. Being able to adjust quickly gives you an advantage. I thought one of the funniest things was one day when I was breaking up the teams.
It's
What was he doing now? He
sleeping.
fell
You put him
asleep.
to sleep. You
He
put him
fell
to
asleep.
sleep.
He
You put
yeah,
him to
he
Yeah,
he's probably been up since 2:30 in the morning. The
I
one
was up
funny
until
thing
yeah,
was one day I was breaking up the teams and Mac O'Keefe was down at one end and he had his Penn State helmet on, and Timmy Langton, our buddy, his son was, I think, either a freshman. I think he was only a freshman at St. Anthony's, or maybe going into his sophomore year. And I'm looking around, breaking up the teams, and I said, Langton, go cover that guy down there. So he starts to jog down, and he stops halfway, and he comes back to me. He goes, "That's Mac O'Keefe." So I said, yeah, so what? I said, go cover him. He's all lefty. Don't worry about it. And Timmy, the father's on the sideline. He's taking pictures and getting such a kick
right.
out of it. He's like, here's my kids in ninth grade. He's covering Mac. I think Mac was his senior year, going into his senior year. He was about to break the all-time goal scoring record, and the ninth graders, they're going to cover him at Ali Pond Park. I mean, how you going to get that experience anyway? But it was good. We might have to revive that. I got to see if they have from what I heard, I think they were going to bring it back themselves, Ali Pond. I think they were going to put the turf back down again this winter. So, next year we'll keep an eye on it and maybe we'll do something, right, Smalls? Because
yeah, no,
Smalls,
it
although,
really, why I liked it in a way, like I always say, and I'm not picking on you, Vinny, but I got to do it to you. You kill me because I don't want you to leave this earth. You got so much to give to the game. I want to look up one day. Maybe I'm in a wheelchair or something. If I ever get old, he's coaching, and he's coaching. He's doing it. I don't want you to leave the game because, I mean, you're like breeding horses. You have no kids, right? So I figure you'd have about 4 or 5 kids with the family. You're one of 9 children. I mean, it's amazing. And I figure you
seven,
had the
seven,
most
seven kids.
beautiful. You had the most beautiful woman in God's creation. People lost games. They used to look at your girlfriend in the stands, and they would lose games by looking at your girlfriend. That's how
Steven, you're
beautiful
going to
it
have to
was.
edit some of this.
God.
No, we got to go through with it, Vinny. Come on,
He's on a stream of consciousness again.
Vinny. I was just
He,
sleeping. You ain't got
he
much
oh,
time left,
don't,
Vinny.
no, he talks in his
Vinny,
sleep too.
Vinny,
Forget
you
about
ain't got
don't
time.
whatever you do, don't ever give Smalley your bank codes.
Without a
Forget it.
doubt.
No, I got so much on the mind, and I'm dead tired. I really am.
Well, we got a big weekend because we got to get down to the game early. We advised the fans to get there early. We're going to get there even earlier, so we're going to be ready to go.
Steven, I want to wear lime
You
shirts.
know, you
You
know,
actually got the color. I give Steven the color we used to have lime. I used to love it. You put our shirts used to
Kid
be.
Rock is going to be there in full force.
Yeah.
And Duke, they travel pretty well. They've already been up to Long Island once already this year. So they're going to have their routine down too.
Can we get an interview with Danowski? Because it'll be fantastic. We get
Oh,
a
I'm sure
quickie,
we'll see him there for
just a
sure.
quick 1 minute aid.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy is an
Move it
icon. You
over.
gotta.
Yeah, listen, this is historic to have John Danowski back at post where he coached, by the way.
Right, that's right.
So
He coached there.
it's just there's so many intertwining things there. It's fantastic. It's gonna be
Yeah, no, this is really gonna be a good time. I'm really looking forward to it. How should I really dress? It's not gonna be freezing, but I gotta at least wear an overcoat, right? I don't want to.
Well, bring
Do I
some,
need?
leave it in the car. You're going to get there early. If it's
Do
hot and
I
you got
need
to
more of
take
a
it off,
wool
you
hat?
throw them.
If it's gonna be windy, do I need a wool hat?
Yeah, wear a hat because your ears always get
No,
cold.
I get
Your ears
earaches
get
now. I'm
cold. Yeah,
passed
you
out.
get
Nobody know
earaches.
I'm dead.
God, we're talking
Yeah.
about his earaches. Do you believe this, Vin? We're worried about his earaches. This is what. Stay in the tent and eat the chicken palm.
It's like
The
taking
chicken
it's
parm,
like
but I'm in my
taking your
late
grand it's like taking your
I
grandfather
know.
to a game.
Like, exactly. Exactly.
I'm the
Oh
only
God.
guy that can snore standing up while eating chicken parm.
Yeah,
I
he's
don't
like
know,
Mr.
Corrigan.
Ed.
Listen to me.
He's Mr.
You
Ed.
heard
He could sleep
Corrigan.
standing up like a horse. He's
So
like Mr.
the one other game we're gonna throw this on here because it's not on here, but we're gonna create a special slide just for this game, even though we kind of don't know the line. But essentially, it is a pick'em game anyway. It means that much. So we're gonna say even line, Cornell, Duke, last game.
Even line. Cornell Duke, just a winner.
Yep. Yep.
Wow.
Double overtime.
Wait, we got a couple more games to go about too. So go
All
ahead.
right, go ahead. Go ahead. Give
But
it.
let's do that one. Even
I'm
line.
going. I'm going with. Even though Duke really needs this game, I'm going to go with Cornell on Saturday.
I'm gonna go Cornell too in a tight game, double overtime. That's how tight they're gonna call it.
I'm going Cornell also. You know, I'm not in a big game
We're
like
all
that.
going Big Red.
Against my
We're all
rusty
going Big Red.
guys. So the next one is maybe the highlighted game of the week, even though we're going to be at a great event. I mean, it's hard to argue what's going to go down at Notre Dame, where Notre Dame is a 1.5 favorite at home against the number one team in the nation, North Carolina.
Wow.
Go with North Carolina, baby. I'm laying it this week on the line. I'm gonna take the lead with that game. He's giving me a pep talk.
Me too. I'm
Before the
going
game.
UNC.
I got heels too. We're all. I got. I love Notre
Going
Dame.
heels. You're gonna kill Brett.
You know how much I love Notre Dame, but
Yeah.
I just see they struggled to score in the second half. They just, and I just think that Carolina has potential to score every time they have the ball.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but I'll go with Carolina. I wouldn't be surprised if Notre Dame, but but what do I know? I'm in last place.
You're in last place. You're giving all the advice. Well, maybe you're going to move up. Now, here's the last game.
I love it, Vinny.
The last game, I said yesterday to Vinny, I said, Smalls, I said, we need to get the song going. Look who's back. Back again.
Do we have a
Now,
little box?
Tillman back in the top 10 with Maryland. Urging. He's at home, -4.5 versus Rutgers.
A lot of goals.
A lot of goals. And if you said where they tightened up, they obviously got some, they got some wins. They're starting to surge, but they're really not scoring.
Right.
They're doing it holding other teams down more than breaking out scoring. I mean, they don't really seem to, 10 seems like it's like an accomplishment.
Yeah. That's why, that's
Yeah.
why I think I'm going to go with, I think Maryland will win the game, but I'm going to go with Rutgers with the 4.5.
I'm going Maryland. They're going to break out of it. They're going to come on with the scoring. They're going to start sharing that ball even more. They're going to find the threats. They're going to make the score. They're going to play at home. Their last home game of the season at the Terp Stadium there.
That is interesting. That is interesting. I think the kid, the number one kid, he's starting to play better. Was it 4.5 goals?
4.5 goals.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That means it's 5. You're talking 5 goals. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be close. I'm gonna go with Maryland on this one. I'm gonna stick with my boy until he lets me down.
Okay. And the last thing I wanted to talk about, I saw a picture. I thought this was interesting. Somebody, I don't know who posted it up. It was funny. You ever see some of those Olympics, the runners, like the sprint where it's like the guys ahead and then it's like second, third, where they're so close in that 100 meter or whatever it is race. And they had on the first one, the guy winning, it was Owen Duffy. And then second, they had Joey Spallina, And then third, they had Petramala. And fourth, they had the guy from Notre Dame, Yago. And fifth, they had McCabe Millen. So they called it the Tawaraton Race,
Wow. And they had them all, yeah.
They actually had even they had other guys on there too. But those were in the order what they had the top 5. What are your thoughts on that, Smalls? The Tawaraton Race.
Well, the race right now, what they usually do is you look at you're 3/4 of the way done with the season, and they look at a little bit of everything. They look at who's winning. They look at the scores. There are 3 obviously right there. I would say right now they're all 3 so close. I would say they pick them. I don't know.
I mean, we always say it. It always really is the reality is who's going to get to the Final Four, who's going to get to the finals, who's going to win it.
If that's the case,
You
I
know,
pick.
if Carolina goes and makes it all the way and wins it, it would be hard to pick against Duffy. You know, or Petramala for that matter.
It would be
You
a
know,
tie. They would give it to both of them if they're both for the same team. No.
well, I don't think
No,
so.
no.
They might have him a little bit ahead as a sort of main threat, but I mean Don Petramala, he's a threat. He's scoring all the time. You know, I mean that's
Corey, the kid's on fire.
on fire. He's on fire. What a great player. Plays
I
the
mean, you're
whole
talking
game.
scoring. This kid might come. See, some people are late bloomers. This kid could be. Suppose he's surging now. Is he a senior or junior?
He's
He's
a junior, I think.
What?
Yeah,
This kid Petromai is a junior?
yeah.
I think he's a senior. No.
Here's gonna show you. I'm gonna show you a question. I got a question for Vinny. And it's this is age bias. You're gonna see age bias right now in a game. Don Petramala's playing. You know, we know he's shifty. He can play off ball. He could play with the ball sometimes too. How would he do against his father?
Oh boy.
His
I,
age bias coming at you
I'll
right
give you.
now.
I'll give you the answer.
Go ahead.
I got the perfect answer. In certain situations, the father would strip him and dominate. But then if you take big man out of his little segment and you run him off a pick or something, he can release. Dom's a damn near player. That's what the difference today. He's great, no doubt. He'd strip him. Petro is Petro, the finest of the game. But with the transaction, and if they could pick and set certain picks and get them picking out, I think Dom can hold his.
I like Smalley's answer. Let me hear Vinny's answer. Then I'll give mine.
well, like Small's making a point that if they could free him up by getting him off of him, then it's really not he's doing it on him. You know what I mean? But if you just had mano y mano, as they say, one on one with no picks, I think he'd have his hands full, Dominic, against his father in his prime. I think he'd have his hands full.
The only points I'll make to this is, first of all, I'm being lefty. Dave destroys lefties. Like that's in his
Yeah,
wheelhouse. That's the first thing.
yeah.
If it was righty, I would say, well, but lefty, that's a disadvantage for him. The fact of guarding a lefty, Dave could really do a number on left-handed players. But Dom's ability to play off the ball, and he's one of the best off the ball players, is something that works against Dave, because Dave is definitely a much better on the ball player. Not that he wasn't good, but he wanted to make plays. He was
Yeah,
always
yeah,
lurking
he'd
around
take
to try to
chances.
make a play, and
That's
that,
true.
and
He'd
an
take
off the ball
chances.
guy could hurt you. It is a funny thing.
Dave is a lot quicker than him.
It's so
Dave is quicker than the
it's
father.
so great. It's so great that family could even have discussions like that, because it's a great family, great kids. You see how respectful and nice Dom is when he does those interviews. Lee Corrigan touched on it, and Dave is just was such a great player, great coach, and great guy in the game. I was privileged to go to high school with him. He was always a great leader. He helped me a lot. You try going against Dave Petramala in high school and think you're not going to get better? He made every person at St. Mary's better, especially Rich Moses, who went on to play and be an All-American at Hobart, who had to go really mainly against them all the time. I used to be like, wow, that's rough practice, having to go against Dave every day and be, but it made you better. Rich.
Hey,
Yeah.
Steven, that's a good point, man. That's a good point you're making. I wanted to say, add to that, Steven. Now, there's something I always think about, like think about Dave, the career he had, how great he is, everything, and how long he's coaching, how long he's been in hotels, 24 years. No, I'm sorry, 34 years coaching, maybe 40. How many years is he coaching?
Since he was right out of college. So
So,
he's been
so
coaching since the 90s, early 90s.
is he coaching 50 years? Is this guy like a.
Oh, 50 years. He's not that old.
He's coaching 30, 35 years.
So what I wanted to add to that, Vinny, what I wanted to add to it, just think about, I heard this from somebody one time, I'll never forget it. One of the greatest gifts in life that you could give a child, other than, feeding them and all the other good stuff, is to coach your son. They say if you could coach your son 1 year in life, whether it be high school, college, And the gift that that guy has, coaching his son,
Yeah, it's great.
to me, that story, if they go to the finals, I want to own that story because that trumps lacrosse, that trumps national champions. Father and son, and he coached both his sons. He's getting the greatest gift in life. And believe me, it didn't come easy. He worked his tail off. You know, having kids is not easy. Coaching is not easy. They go to the same school. He's got to, say things. So to me, coaching your son and then going at this level is the greatest gift you could give a kid. So to me, that's a story within a story. That'll be my story in the Final Four. That'll be my big interview.
Well, let's give some shout outs. You want to give some shout outs? Vinny popped off. You start with the shout out. He'll pop right back on, Vinny.
Well, first I got to give a shout out to Joe Bresci, such a fine man. Think about Joe. He was coaching a few years ago, and what did he do? He had balls enough to go out and hire one of the greatest coaches, Petramali. Most coaches would never hire somebody with that talent. Joe Bresci had the Kadukas. I don't want to curse yet. You let me lose my Kadakas. I don't want to say the word balls.
What language are you
Let me
speaking?
go. I'm on a roll. No, he had the willpower to go out and hire a legendary coach like Petro on his staff. Most people would be afraid to hire a guy like that, and he took him on. Look where he is. 3 years later, they're in a position now. And congratulations to Bresci for the extension, and also the love. And I got to meet the man that he is and his family. It's an amazing family, Joe Bresci, and the relationship he has with Dennis Goldstein and all the people. It's really the guy. Really, he's another one. I don't know if we'll ever see this era with all these different coaches that we know, but it's an amazing era of coaches. It really, really is. You guys know the sport way better than I do, but as I see it looking at, he's my guy today, Joe Bresci. Go ahead.
What about Vin? You got your shout out?
I agree with what Smalls just said. Let me just reiterate that. But you should know that Dave and Joe Bresci have been friends for years. They played together on the USA team in '94. So they go back over 30 years. 32 years. Maybe he knows him even before that. So he knows Dave as a player, as a person, as a coach. So it was a natural fit when he became available, especially with the fact that he got his two sons down there too. So what happened?
You guys
I'm
are
not doing.
all over. You guys are all over the place. You guys are all
I'm here.
over
I'm
the
back.
place.
No, I got a phone call. I
Of
put my
course you
phone
did.
on do not disturb, but I got
Yeah.
a phone call.
No,
I
yes.
don't
Well,
know
that's
why. I
not
put
on
it.
Do Not Disturb, but that's okay.
Does anybody
You
see
guys,
me?
Yeah,
fan,
I see you.
look at what I
So
have to deal with here.
Wait,
I
hold on.
know, I know. So you wanted my shout out. This is my shout out.
I can't see Vinny.
He's shouting out from the dark,
Am I
side.
still dark?
Yeah, you're out. Let him go. Go
No,
see me.
you're on, but your video's not there. It's
I
hysterical.
see myself, but
Oh my
somebody had
lord.
to call me right now.
Oh my lord.
My shout out is to, and I'm sure we're going to see him on Saturday. He's in town. He's moved to Australia many years ago. The great Craig Jager, the great
Wow.
player from
Great
Cornell.
shout out.
Man,
Craig Jager, Massapequa native, went to Nassau 2 years, won two national championships, went to Cornell, went undefeated right up until the last game. Unfortunately, they got beat in the finals by Hopkins, unfortunately for them. But I think the guy lost one game he played in college in 4 years. And he's back, he's around. He came for the reunion. They had the 50th reunion up at Cornell a couple weeks ago, and he's hanging around for a while. And he'll be there Saturday, and it'll be great to see him. And I think he'll have a lot of fun seeing all the guys he hasn't had a chance to see in a long time. So Jake is back in town in his native Long Island.
That's great.
Jake is
That's
back.
great.
Jake is back.
Well, my shout out goes all to all the Long Island fans, all the Long Island lacrosse fans. We got to get out to Post. Get out to Post this weekend. It's going to be a tremendous event.
Get there at 11 o'clock.
You're not going to want to miss it. Get there even earlier. The tailgates will be cooking. Guys will be celebrating, getting ready for the game. It's going to be a tremendous game. and we're looking forward to the weather cooperating. I don't think you're going to want to miss it. It's one of those things. I'm glad they put it back a little bit, made it 2 o'clock, so that maybe if you have a high school game or you got something going on, you probably could do that and jet right over to the field. But like I have been saying, get your tickets early. Additionally, fans out there,
Come and say hello to us. We got food and everything.
whether you're
Wherever
listening,
we are.
whether you're listening on Spotify, YouTube, Apple, whatever you're listening on, make sure you follow. This way, you know when we do upload an episode, it pops right over to you. You'll get a notification. You know, and make sure if you do run into Smalley during the weekend, you know he's not shy. If you want to take a picture with him, he'll oblige you. You know. I actually was going to send Corrigan, if you remember Smalls from the PLL game when you sat in the big chair. I was going to say that's what they need for you for this game.
Yeah.
You know, like I was going to send him the picture, say Smalley, you know, he's special. Bobby courtside. You need that photo of you know what to prepare for Smalley for the game.
No, but I got to give you guys a little bit of it. I always dig into you two clowns because in the end, you guys are clowns like everybody else. But in the respectful world, I got to say, giving me the opportunity and chance to hang out with you two guys has been a treat for 5 years. And I always say the same thing. Vinny, for 40 years, built a reputation up, and it took him 3 years for me to kill it.
That's
So,
exactly right.
so just the mere fact that you guys had given me the opportunity, knowing that I was a challenged kid growing up.
What happened? You're pulling the plug on him.
That's it, Steven.
You played him off like he was giving a speech at the Oscars.
See you Saturday, everyone.
Hey, Steven.